Here's what we want you to know. We pay you to talk about us, and we pay you handsomely to do so. You can actually earn massive income by helping us enroll students in the New Verish three-part educational system. Seek, as you recall, was the first part. Our residential real estate encyclopedia is part number 2. And part number 3 is our real estate investment college. Now, I know that if you're going to, if we're going to pay you to talk about us, you're probably wondering, is there a demand for our products? Is there a demand for our products? Now, that's really a fair question. Donald F. Karatko wrote a book called Entrepreneurship Theory and Practice. From his research, he concluded that entrepreneurship has emerged over the last 2 decades as arguably the most potent economic force the world has ever experienced. Now, hang on a minute. He said, what was the most potent economic force the world has ever experienced? Right, entrepreneurship. Okay, let's continue. With that expansion has come a similar increase in the field of entrepreneurship education. There's the answer about demand that we wanted to discuss. He goes on to explain that as many as 5.6 million Americans younger than age 34 are actively trying to start their own business today. Now, he said as many as 5.6 million Americans younger than age 34. Heck, he didn't even talk about the millions and millions of people over the age of 34, the millions of people sick and tired of working for someone else, the millions and millions of people who are awakening to the fact that unless they do something different, they will never wake up from the financial nightmare that holds them bound. Folks, there is an entrepreneurial explosion taking place in this country. And that's why our student enrollments at New Verish have flat exploded. The company was founded in 2002. We're headquartered in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're privately held, privately owned, and operated, with over 22,000 students nationwide. And the phenomenal success created by New Verish has attracted national attention. National attention from major publications. Success Magazine is, of course, one of the most respected publications on the newsstand shelf. New Verish was honored with a full 16-page insert highlighting the success that we've created in the industry. The January 2008 issue of Your Business at Home magazine, which you see on the left there, highlighted our philanthropic efforts and talked about the visionary leadership of our CEO, Jim Piccolo. Well, in September 2008, Success from Home magazine dedicated their entire issue cover to cover, to New Verish. They featured 12 powerful success stories of New Verish students and their rise from mediocrity, wrote again about our philanthropic efforts, and showcased our co-founder, Bob Snyder. That's me, in an article about leadership and influence. Well, these are just a few of the examples that help to illustrate the credibility that we're gaining as industry leaders and the demand for our education that is ever growing. So now that you have a better idea about who we are, let's take a few minutes and discuss what is and is not required for you to get paid talking about us. The only required expense to join our marketing team is to pay an administrative fee of $75. That's it, $75. There's no product purchase required to earn income enrolling students in the New Verish three-part educational system. So even though you don't have to own what you sell, I certainly believe that you'll want to own what you sell, and that'll become self-evident as our discussion continues. Next, to better understand the benefits of starting a New Verish business, let's begin by reviewing some of the basics of a typical business. A typical business has generally heavy startup costs. Heavy startup costs are generally associated with that type of an entity, as are inventory expenses and, of course, the overhead of having to pay employees. Well, on top of these costs, you generally have to spend money on overhead of having an office and having, some additional things there. What about marketing expenses? Heavens, advertising expenses. And then to ensure that you can pay for all that overhead, a typical company has about 100% markup on the products that they sell. 100% markup. They buy at wholesale, then they sell at retail, which leaves them with about a 50% margin, which is very typical of business in this type of an example. Now here's what we'd like to do. Let's take a look at New Verish. New Verish, well, as you can see, with a New Verish business, your startup costs are minimal. $75. There's no inventory to buy because, Well, you're going to purchase product as you collect money from your students. You don't have to hire any employees, and you can work from home if you choose to, so that you can keep your overhead low. The other benefit of not having an office or storefront is that, well, you get to control your own hours. This means that you can work full-time or part-time depending on your schedule and, of course, your needs. But you still get to buy our education at wholesale and enjoy 100% markup, which, of course, creates a 50% margin. 100% markup, 50% margin. Think about that for a minute. Your overhead is almost non-existent, and you still get to enjoy a 50% or greater profit margin. Man, what a business. But wait, it gets a whole lot better. It gets better. To help ensure that our outside sales force gets proper training, here's what NuVarish did. NuVarish has developed a decentralized training program that requires marketers to complete a certain number of training sales at each product offering. Once training's been completed, a marketer is eligible to earn a 50% profit on sales that they generate. Now, this chart is going to help me explain a little bit about how the certification process works and the income potential that's associated with our business. First, let's take a look at the retail cost and the profit potential that you can enjoy marketing our education. As you can see, the profit margin on Seek is more than 50%. For each $1,695 sale, you earn $1,000. We call that magic. Magic. It actually stands for Make a Grand and Commission, and that is truly a wonderful thing. The profit on the Residential Real Estate Cyclopedia, well, that's $1,750. And then for each silver tuition that you sell, the profit's $3,000. Gold is $5,000. And every time a student enrolls with a Regents tuition, you earn $8,000. Man, that's not a bad payday, huh? But before you can earn this kind of income, you're going to need to complete training. I mentioned before that you're not required to purchase the product that you sell for NuVarish. You don't have to do that to be able to market for the company. But if you choose not to own what you sell, the learning curve's going to be a little steeper, and you'll need to complete training, additional training, by passing more sales to your mentor. That'll make sense in just a little bit here.